Hey guys, it's Winterwolf, and today we are doing another speed build. This is an abandoned Tudor home that's being built in Windenburg. Someone had commented on my Instagram for one of my older abandoned homes, but I had too many packs for them to renovate it, so I made this one for them instead. Their name's Maevelous, and they will be posting, I think, a reno on their YouTube channel at some point, so I will post their socials down below if you guys want to check it out. Other than that, I've always said this, and I'll continue to say it in all of my videos. If you guys ever want me to make a build for you, you don't have to be a YouTuber or an Instagrammer or a Simstagrammer. You can just be like a regular person, and if you guys want me to make a build for you, I will gladly make the build for you guys. It's so much fun making builds for other people and making builds for people's families, or like Sims families, obviously, or making challenges for them. So yeah, if you guys ever want me to make something for you guys, I will be glad to do it. Put it in the comments. You can DM me on Instagram. You can email me even. If you guys don't want to be mentioned, it'll be only known to me, and I'll just make it and post on YouTube. And we'll never talk about you if you guys want to remain anonymous. But yeah, that's it for that round. So basically, this is an abandoned Tudor home that I've made on the Factory 1 lot in Windenburg, which I think is where there's like a group of Sims. I think they're kind of like roommates that live there. I can't remember their names, but I think one of them's name is Paolo, where Paolo lives. I think there's also a kid living there. I don't remember exactly, but they live here. Anyways, so the idea behind this home is that it lives on it's on a really nice lot. Like you guys can see, this lot is super beautiful. It's surrounded by water, has nice trees. It's kind of in the neighborhood, but maybe off to the side a little bit. And you know, you walk down this place and you just think, wow, that house is so beautiful. Why is it not being bought? And the answer is, there's something weird going on with it. No one knows why this house hasn't been bought. It used to be a place that teenagers would kind of come and party. Animals would kind of take refuge here because it was abandoned. But something, you know, scared them away. And now this house has just been untouched for years by anyone. So, yeah. And then I also made a family for this house. They're on the gallery as the Tudor family. My gallery is linked in my bio. And it's also 31 Winterwolf 31, so you can just search up 31 Winterwolf 31 using the EAID option, and it should come up. And this is called the Tudor family, and the Tudor family is made of 3 Sims, 1 teen daughter, and then 2 parents. They're from San Myshuno. The idea is the mother maybe is like an art critic or an artist, and the father is a bartender. And they recently decided to buy this home. They had to convince City Hall to let them take it, and now they are renovating it for their family. Yeah, I didn't want to add any like restrictions in terms of how many rooms to make, or like, you know, add an art studio or add this, because I've done that in my other one. But this one is a very small house and it has a very weird floor plan, so I didn't want to make it too difficult, especially if I haven't done the challenge myself. So I just kind of let it open that, you know, they have these hobbies, and you know, you guys can do what you want with that. If you guys don't want to do the family, you don't have to do the family. I also just made the shell and upload the shell, so I have the shell uploaded and the abandoned version uploaded, so you guys can download either one. This is the shell right now. I don't know if I did the backyard before I made the shell, or before I uploaded it, but this is basically the house. And yeah, what else should I say about it? It has a few packs. It's not completely base game. I tried making it completely base game, but it's really, really difficult to make base game abandoned homes because they just don't have the clutter that you need to make a base game abandoned home. So it uses, I think, eco lifestyle, city living, get together, obviously, cats and dogs, and I think it uses jungle adventure, and that's it? Question mark? But yeah, so a lot of the clutter just kind of comes from these packs. City living, I use the dingy flooring and stuff. And then cats and dogs, I use some mud paw prints and a couple of other things, newspaper on the floor. Obviously get together had to be used since this is in Windenburg. And then a lot of the sort of vines and stuff come from jungle adventure, as well as some cracks in the walls. So this is a really detailed build on the backyard, especially. I think the inside is also really nice. I didn't want to furnish the inside too much. I made a floor plan, so you know, part of the reno could maybe be making the floor plan more open, because this house is very closed off, which I think fits with the whole Tudor vibes of the house and the fact that it's a very old house. But yeah. Sorry, my dog just barked in the background and I got really distracted. I ended up using Jungle Adventure vines, which I actually was concerned about them looking out of place, but now looking at the build, I think it doesn't seem too noticeable that they're from Jungle Adventure. Like, I don't think it looks out of place. I tried my best to keep the landscaping true to Windenburg. There is one ginormous tree in the back that I had to add just to make it look more cluttered in the back. That's not very Windenburg-esque because no neighbor in this entire neighborhood has any massive trees. So I added some of the smaller trees as well, eventually you'll see, but I did add one big tree in the back just to get the sort of abandoned look in the screenshots, because usually abandoned homes are kind of like in the middle of nowhere. This is obviously in the middle of a neighborhood. It kind of reminds me of that haunted house movie, the one that would it came alive, so it was like in the middle of the neighborhood, but it was like super haunted and creepy. That's what this house is. It was kind of based off of that kind of idea. And also, low-key, one of the Sims I made is called Coraline because I got Coraline vibes from this for some reason. It doesn't look anything like the Coraline house that they bought. I should make Coraline's house in the Sims. Okay, that's the next thing I'm doing. I might make another challenge, but I'm going to definitely make Coraline's house at some point because I am a big sucker for Coraline. I love the movie. It's super creepy. I just like how creepy it is. I think I just like creepy in general. I've read a lot of like Alice in Wonderland make-offs that are like super creepy. I don't know, just makes me happy. Back to what I was saying though, the outside is super detailed, the inside is also detailed, but I tried not to furnish it too much. I think I've already said this, but I'm gonna repeat myself again because I didn't want to furnish, because usually if I were to furnish this house I would have made it like super glamorous. Like I would have added like all of that old sort of fancy furniture and all that, but I felt like if I had done that, then the build would have been basically furnished for you guys, especially if you wanted to sort of keep the Tudor vibes of the house. So I didn't do that just because I wanted you guys to have your own creative freedom. If you want to do this challenge, please put the hashtag 31WW31Reno on Instagram and on the gallery so that I can check it out. If I get enough, I'll post it on YouTube. If you guys don't want the build on YouTube, please put that in the description box because I won't put it on YouTube if you guys don't want me to. That's also given the fact that I even get like options. I think in the past a couple of people did the old one, but I didn't make a video on it just because it didn't seem like necessary. But yeah, and also just to get to some of the spooky vibes, there's an urn and a bunch of ashes in front of the stove, so do with that what you will. Kind of creepy. The whole house has wallpaper and it's carpeted, so one thing I would do is probably get rid of the carpet. Maybe I'll do a reno of this at some point, but I didn't want to right now because I don't want to like, I don't know if I should, because I basically made this challenge for someone else, so I think it'd be kind of weird if I did this challenge myself. But yeah, it's 2 bedrooms. I think it's even 2 bathrooms. It's 2 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms. One bedroom is up, or not, sorry, 1 bedroom. 1 bathroom is downstairs. They're both full baths, by the way. There's no half baths, which I think is really good because I struggled trying to figure out how to put the bathrooms. I was like, oh, we're going to have like this 3-tile bathroom. But I did manage to fit a normal sized bathroom in this house. And that's probably pretty good because this house would definitely not be the house to have like a 3-wide bathroom, you know? So yeah, the whole house is really closed off. Like the kitchen is separate from the dining room. The kitchen is actually really, really small. I really wanted to try to add like an office space or something, but it wasn't happening. I gave up on the idea of it. It was no bueno situation. It was just a very bad situation. But yeah, and so a lot of city living was used in here, but a lot of the furnishing is base game and the city living. But a lot of like the mud and the clutter, anything that has to do with it actually looking abandoned is not base game, because there's basically nothing you can use that's base game to make it look abandoned. There's no like dirty mud paws or like mail or clutter or newspapers on the floor. There is mail, and you'll see that I actually added like a trail of mail hanging out from the mailbox to kind of show that it was abandoned. And then there's some of the plants are base game, but the ones that I really like using are not base game, unfortunately. They're Jungle Adventure. So yeah, and then I also had these little cones to kind of show that, you know, don't come in here, it's not safe. But yeah, and there's also a little corridor off front. I really like this idea of having like this like front porch area. It's kind of covered. I think that looks really, really nice, and I'm interested to see how that gets furnished, or if it gets furnished at all. I also did a lot of like doubling, so I use 2 beds, but I make it 1 bed just to make it look kind of grungy, but also old, you know, at the same time. And then this is why I've used Eco Lifestyle, is basically because I wanted this broken furniture, and Eco Lifestyle has a lot of broken furniture. I debated going dumpster diving, but I was too lazy. In my other build, I did go dumpster diving to get some of like the old broken furniture, but I just didn't want to do that. I just really didn't want to do that. So I was like, no, we're not gonna do that. And then here there's sort of a, I don't know what just like empty space that I basically add for no reason. I really wanted to use those other cabinets, the really expensive ones, but I felt like that was too expensive for this type of house. I felt like, you know, that's just making it too easy for you guys. I will put some budget options for you guys. I'll make one of it probably like 10 or 20k will be the first budget, and then the second budget will be like 30 or 40k, just so that you guys have like the challenge if you want it, and if you don't want it, you don't have to do it, obviously. But yeah, so here you can see I'm sort of making a nice bed, but I'm adding like a dingy mattress over it, so it looks a little bit gross, which was kind of the idea. And this would essentially be, I think, the master bedroom, right? Yeah, I think that would be the master bedroom. And then this is a smaller bedroom that you'd probably put for the kid, or kids if they ever shared a room. I wanted to put a fourth sim in the house, but I just couldn't do it because there just wasn't that much space, and I didn't want to force the creator to like make a really ugly looking room, or make a really cramped room, or have to add a room or something. So that's why I didn't end up adding another sim. But there is a cat in the family that I made for this house. So like I said, I can't even remember what I said. I've done this voiceover too much. Now I'm adding muddy paw prints. This came from cats and dogs, and this is basically why I use cats and dogs, is so that I can get some of this like clutter. Because like I said, base game just doesn't have a lot of like icky clutter. Yeah. I didn't know, I just feel weird only furnishing it halfway, like I got bored or something. But it's just, I didn't know what else to do. I'm really glad they had the webs in Cats and Dogs, because the only other place you can find a web is from Vampire's Pack, and unfortunately I couldn't use that. So it was I was pretty happy that they had a web hanging around. So there's also some nice paintings and stuff, which they can obviously delete. I added gingham. Oh, that's right, I added gingham into the bedroom. So this house is actually really nice. I think this is going to look super great when it's done being renovated. I actually might renovate this too at some point. I just, I don't know if I should, because I feel like it'd be weird that I made this challenge for someone else and then I renovated it. I don't know. I feel like that might be a little bit weird, so I'm not sure I'm going to renovate it. But plus, I don't know, maybe I'll do it sometime in the future when I'm not bored, or maybe I'll just take the shell and do the shell. Yeah. I don't know. Anyways, oh, I also took out all of the lights in this house. So you can see right now I have a bunch of lights in here, but to go with the whole dingy aspect, I took out all of the really good lights, which are these little small saucer lights, and I put wall lights in places, just to make it look darker and like more gross and like spooky, you know? So that's why there's no lights. I mean, there is lights, but it's all ugly, like yellow light. To be honest, I think I might I didn't do it, but I should have turned off the lights in all the house. Because obviously this house doesn't get electricity because it's abandoned. So that probably would have been a good idea on my part, but I didn't do that. And then I'm also finishing up adding some some plants inside the house, because I feel like if you leave a house that has the door open, you're sure to get like plants growing here somehow. Which is also one really good thing, because when you're doing abandoned houses, you really don't have to worry about anything clipping, because if there's plants in the house, it just kind of goes forward with the whole like spooky vibes, the whole abandoned vibes. And then I add some branches into here because I figured maybe, you know, obviously the door is not there, it's opened, So maybe some branches and stuff have flown in during stormy days and stuff like that. So yeah, that's why I did that. And then, I don't know, I really like how this turned out a lot. Like, I'm really into this. But yeah, so we've reached screenshots. I hope you guys liked this video. If you guys have a build that you want me to do for you, leave in the comments, DM me on Instagram. You can also email me. I don't really care how you get to me. Just get to me and ask for something. I will be glad to do it. But yeah, if you guys like this video, give me a big thumbs up. If you like me, hit the subscribe button. And if you really like me and be notified every single time I post a video, go ahead and hit that bell button. Hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you next time.